Now we're going to set up the circle of fifths, which means we'll be adding the sharps and flats and getting the correct names for all of these letter keys that are up here on the board. Now, a prior video explains the order of sharps, which go this way, and flats, which go that way. Another prior video explains how to get these letters arranged on the board in the correct order. Also take note that we have a sharp side and we have a flat side to the circle. So we're going to start up at the key of C, which we call neutral. It has 0 sharps and 0 flats. Has nothing in the key but natural notes. So we're going to start our journey down the sharp side of the circle. You don't even have to think, you just have to follow the pattern. We have 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, 5 sharps, and then 6 sharps. This gets a little confusing down here, but if you follow the pattern, E, F, G, A, B, B, C, D, E, F, it'll show you that the F actually belongs to the sharp side. On the other side, on the flat side, we have, of course, 0 flats for C, which means we have 1 flat for F, 2 flats for B, 3 flats for E, 4 flats for A, 5 flats for D, and we know G belongs to the flat side because A, B, C, D, D, E, F, G. So I'll put 6 flats there. Now on the sharp side, we know that now that the key of G has 1 sharp. So we're going to start on our sharps and say, what is the first sharp? It's F. And then we're going to write F sharp. That's it. G has 1 sharp and it's F sharp. The key of D has 2 sharps. So we start here going backwards, F sharp and C sharp. And make sure that they're in order. To say C sharp and F sharp will create problems later in your theory experience. So I'll write in F sharp and C sharp. A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. E has 4 sharps, F, C, G, and D. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. By now you're no doubt noticing that this is starting to look pretty fancy, but it's really very simple if you look at the few patterns that we're using, but it can make you look really smart when you put it all on the board. 5 sharps in the key of B, so F, C, G, D, A. And finally in the sharps we have F here, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sharps. So we'll go F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. Now if you look at B, there is no B sharp listed next to the key of B, so we just leave it as B. The same is true for the other sharp keys. For example, there's no D sharp in the key of D, so we leave it as D. In the key of F down here, we see that the first one listed is F sharp. So it has to follow its own key signature. So this is not the key of F, this is the key of F sharp. So we'll put that sharp sign in there. Now on the other side, you're going to see this show up a bunch where we see that a note has to be changed. So 1 flat in the key of F, starting on the flat side, has to be B flat. That's our first flat. The second one down, B, says 2 flats, B and E. In order, it's B and E, not E and B. So B flat and E flat. Now, just like we saw there was an F sharp in this F, so we had to call it F sharp as the key name, we already have B flatted in its key signature. So we'll go ahead and add that flat. So we have B down here, and we have B flat up here. So it's going to fix itself. The third one down, this E, has 3 flats. That'd be B, E, and A. And again, we see that there's already an E flat in the key, so we're going to call E flat. We have E on the sharp side, we have E flat on the flat side. A has 4 flats, B, E, A, and D. As you can see, we have an A flat in the key, so A has to be called A flat. 5 flats, B, E, A, D, and G in order. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Once again, we have a flat in the key signature, so we're going to add it to the name of the key. So that's the key of D flat. And last but not least, we have G down here, which says it has 6 flats. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, B, E, A, D, G, and C. So we have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. Once again, the key has a G flat, so we have to call this G, G flat. So we have C, G, D, A, E, B, and F sharp on the sharp side. We have F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat on the flat side. Well, how can 2 different keys with wildly different notes in them share the 6 o'clock position on the clock? Well, if you flat a G and if you sharp an F, they're the same black key on the keyboard. So this is where they connect at the bottom. And if you were to play an F sharp major scale and then play a G flat major scale, they would not sound any different.